good one.
No, it was disco songs like Bunny Sigler, Let Me Party With You. Okay. That was 11 minutes long.
Bunny Sigler.
All right, free throws good for Kobe McEwen. I hope we're not back. And he hits them both. Kobe McEwen played at Marquette, Utah State. Had 30 points against Ball State, his season high. Is back on November 19th. And another layup. How many layups has this team had? And they've spread it around. Shulga gets that one. Three-pointer on the way. McEwen got it.
Great finish, but Weber has to stop this cutting issue that Utah State is just slicing them apart. Death by 1,000 cuts at this point.
Boy, they really are.
And it's crazy because I talked with Eric Daniels last night, and he's saying it's really unorthodox the way they cut, and you can't fall asleep, or this is what's going to happen.
Sisoho Jawara answers. Here we go again.
They're not getting many stops, but they're scoring.
They're staying in the game, but they've got to figure out the defensive communication. Ooh.
Oh boy, here we go. Horvath.
Good block out there.
Big rebound for the freshman Dylan Jones, the 4.0 student. Here comes Weber State. Sisoho Jawara.
I like Jawara taking that shot. He's getting hot right now. He's going to get them back in the game. But McEwen with a big block out down there that got Dylan Jones the rebound. They need more of that from the Wildcats. You got to be a bit more physical on the defensive end.
Horvath, another drive this time. Looks like Jones knocked the ball away, but they're going to catch him for the foul.
No, it's college basketball. You can't swipe at the ball. Even if you get all ball, sir, as a big man, you can't get away with that. The refs just don't let you do it. It's just one of those things that we'll never quite understand.
It's such a luxury to have Horvath, who can catch that ball. Catch that ball at the high post, get a cutter off of him, and then wheel and drive from the top. Yeah, I mean, 7-footer out there moving around like that is great.
Just texted my boy Tim Peterson back at the station. I said, I assume you know we're not on the air. He says, yep, we're running a variety show made in Hollywood.
Wow. Wow.
But those can be good. I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
Just depends on the guest.
Yeah.
Good family television.
Oh, boy. All right, free throw good. Boy, you know, Lance, you were commenting just a few minutes ago on how they'd already gotten to 50. They're going to be over 60 for the half. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Our basketball coaches, our college days, Tim, would be blowing a gasket.
Would be happy.
Giving up 60 points at a halftime game.
Oh,
I mean,
you'd never get out of the locker room.
I don't know that the team would come out for the second half. I think you're right. I think there would be a major collision.
Absolutely. Our goal at the University of Utah under Majerus was all games under 50 points.
Yeah, I remember that.
If we keep them under 50, we keep ourselves just at 51, 52, we will win each game.
And if you could do that today, you'd do it again. You'd win.
You would. But, you know, taking the shot clocks are 30 seconds now. That 5.5 second difference does make quite a bit of an impact.
Well, and they've taken the locks off guys. The three-point shot used to be a sacred occurrence.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
But
and now
fans expect to see that now.
Horvath all 5 guys shoot them.
Absolutely. Well, Steph Curry has changed that fans are now entitled to see constant three-point barrages.
Steph
That's
Curry
what they want to see.
The all-time leading three-point shooter in the NBA as of last night.
Heck of a player, man. Heck of a player.
And he's still got a ways to go. He's going to be piling that on.
I coached a guy in Provo, wasn't bad at that. He couldn't shoot a lick till he came, though, and my skill development really put him over the top, that Jimmer Fredette.
Oh, thank you. Closing seconds here in the first half. Will Utah State top 60? It is 59-43. Ashworth, he's hit a couple of big threes himself. Pass goes deep into the post. Horvath turns, steal. Over 10. Foul.
All right, that's a good energetic burst from the defensive end. Set a good tone for halftime.
Utah State foul, Brock Miller.
Good strip there, taking it, attacking. He's probably more frustrated that he missed it. He could have gathered himself. He was expecting to get hit harder.
He met the standard pretty hard there. That was a great take by JJ, but very perceptive play to dig that out, and it was just him in the rim.
Well, there you go, closing seconds of this first half, and Utah State's going to take a timeout. They want to make sure they get over that 60, right? 59-44 lead for the Aggies. This series is dominated by the Aggies. They lead at 44-28 and have won 10 of the last 13. And you remember we were scheduled to televise this game a year ago. And Lance, I want to say we got the phone call like the night before.
Yeah, we did.
Literally saying, and the Aggies had some COVID issues, and they had to back out of that game. We ended up not doing it.
But you and I still had,
We had dinner.
We did. It was good.
Can I make an observation?
Please do.
The Aggies are 10 for 15 from 3.
Ouch.
They've made 10 threes out of 15 tries for 67%. I would say that's pretty good shooting tonight.
Yeah.
Very good shooting, but it's not like they're pulling tricks out of their pockets. They're wide open threes because of good penetration, dish off. So you can't really say, oh, they're going to cool down, because these are layup threes that aren't highly contested.
At the buzzer, Idle Rock's shot won't go, and the Aggies will go to the locker room with a 59-44 halftime lead. But as you mentioned, Tim, 15 threes. They shot a season high. Beautiful snowy night here in Ogden, Utah. So snowy, in fact, it affected transmission problems for our broadcast. But here we are at halftime, and we are back. Utah State, the Aggies, already leading Weber State at the half, 59-44. Dave Fox, along with former BYU assistant coach Tim Lacombe, three-man booth, and of course Weber State legend Lance Allred. Good to have you both. And Tim, in this first half, a couple of guys for the Aggies, Brock, Ashworth, had their way.
This is a challenge to guard this Utah State team, but Brock Miller comes off and just makes his first couple shots, got his feet set, felt really comfortable, of course, from Brighton High School. Just a great scorer. And between he and Ashworth, the Aggies just really hurt Utah State from deep. Ashworth came in and was absolutely unconscious. I say he had an out-of-body experience because he got to the rim early, and then he was able to kind of almost heat check it right there for a deep three. But it's a great shooter, great scorer, certainly from Lone Peak High School. Just a nice player.
You know, Lance, Wildcats struggled, no doubt about it. But they finally started to come to life. Sissoko Jawara and Kobe McEwen were sensational.
They were. They're quietly. Kobe McEwen had a monster 19-point half. But right now, Weber State is struggling on their defensive communication. But thank goodness for Sissoko Jawara and Kobe McEwen, keeping them within striking distance. You can't sleep on Weber because they get hot and they barrage three-pointers like the Golden State Warriors. Coach Ray will always give them the green light. Again, 13 points, 19 points from Kobe McEwen, respectively, just lights out. But defensively, Weber State has to start communicating to get back into this game because Utah State has not taken one bad shot tonight, Tim.
Again, welcome back. We apologize for our first half transmission issues as the Wildcats go right to the basket. Offensive rebound by Alex Chu, but he can't hang on to it. And here comes Utah State. Snowy night last night, and may have played a part in some of the technical issues we had, but we are back. We're ready to go, and appreciate having you join us here on KJazz TV and ESPN Plus. Again, Dave Fox along with Tim Lacombe as the flush for Brandon Horvath and former Weber State big man himself, who did that a lot when he was here, Lance Allred.
Yeah, just more of that defensive miscommunication as we were talking about. Weber State just not on the same page together, and Utah State having their way. Even though they have a premier player in Justin Bean, he's been quiet, but all the other Aggies are lights out.
Sissoko Jawara, yeah, another three. And Utah State basketball brought to you by Staker Parsons, Weber State University, and Utah Community Credit Union. Good to have you aboard here. Turnover, they need this. Over 10.
Absolutely. Throw it down, young man. Get some buckets. get some momentum, get your team back into this game. That's how Weber's going to do it.
Kind of an uncharacteristic turnover right there by Utah State. Just didn't make a very good decision. Leads for 2 points the other way for Weber.
Well, I think Bean, the leading scorer, 21 points and 11. He's a monster. He's trying to get into the game. He got himself in trouble there with the turnover.
We'll try to reset as much of this as we can, but look at this. Brandon Horvath, another flush.
Excuse me, sir, he said.
I believe this is mine. He dunked that thing. Horvath, 7-footer, can space the floor, but he can also put it on the floor too. It makes this team really tough to guard.
He's got a mean shot, fake, and drive, as we saw in the first half. Great job
Offensive
there by
rebound. Chu goes up. He had the flush, but could not finish it. The Aggies control, and of course, at point guard, Rylan Jones, the transfer from the University of Utah. We talked about this earlier when they went through that coaching change last year. And of course, Craig Smith went to Utah. You had players transferring, going both directions. And the result, of course, was they got Rylan Jones in Logan, and he's been a good one for them.
Well, he's 9th in the nation right now. It's 6 assists per game. It's like you said, you told us, Dave. I'm going to steal your line. It was just 3 of us talking in the first half. But you have to go back to 2007-8 to find that many assists per game in the Aggie program.
Yeah, that's unreal. Chris Clark in 08 averaged 6 a game.
Chris Clark is a good player.
And like you guys point out, you just don't have that many assists in the college game. That one goes out of bounds. 6 assists in the NBA is a quarter.
Yeah, because of the defensive spacing rules in the NBA is so easy for guys to penetrate and dish.
Right.
College, you can pack it in. You have to move the ball to make something happen.
Three-pointer on the way. Kobe McEwen up and behind the backboard. Interesting note today, Tim, you and I were talking with Ryan Odom in his first year with the Aggies. He dropped a bomb on us, pointing out the last time an Odom coached in this building, he didn't win, but it was in 1983 when NC State with Thurl Bailey beat Virginia with Ralph Sampson. His dad was an assistant on that Virginia staff.
Yeah, the great Dave Odom, obviously longtime coach at Wake Forest, Coach Tim Duncan. But the Odom's a basketball family for sure.
Block shot. Brock Miller got it. Yeah, that's crazy when Odom told us that. And we were even with a couple of the sports information directors were on there, and they were like, what? We didn't know that.
I thought Coach dropped a nugget. Thank you, Coach.
Did.
That was really good.
65-49. The Aggies have hovered around that 10-point plus lead throughout this game. It started early and often.
Great job by McEwen. McEwen kept his hands up because that pick and roll for Horvath was wide open for a dunk. That is what most people have to understand. Turnovers are caused by deflections. So McEwen getting his hands up, protected his teammates on the pick and roll. That was a crucial play right there to stop this bleeding that Weber State has on the defensive end.
Justin Bean leads the Mountain West in scoring, rebound, and double-doubles. And long-range three for Horvath will not go. We haven't seen a lot of missed shots out of this Aggie team tonight.
Again, that was a great shot by Utah State. They'll take that shot all night long.
The freshman, Dylan Jones. Oh!
That freshman, let's see if he gets coming to life. He had a quiet first half. This kid is a freshman averaging a double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds a game, 4.0 GPA. I'm a fan of this young man, but Coach Ray needs to get him going. Here we go, the and one, getting some momentum. Let's see if this carries through the media timeout. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes.
Welcome back. Weber State basketball brought to you by Staker Parsons. From the parks you play in to the roads you drive on, Staker Parsons Companies is the preferred source for your construction service and material needs. The Wildcats off to their best start in 36 years at 8-0 before they lost a game at Washington State, but 9-1 on the season, and they've already played 2 league games. They're 2-0 in the Big Sky. And incidentally, they have 15 straight wins at home, but that is in jeopardy if they can't get this Aggie team figured out. The Aggies have shot well, played very well, now lead it by 13.
Yeah, Wildcats can't be surprised, Dave, because Coach Ray said Aggies execute. They execute and they execute and they continue to execute. And tonight, they have been nearly flawless tonight, getting any shot they want.
Right there, a huge key to the game for Utah State. Weber State's really going to push it in transition, particularly here at home. Utah State has to get back, build a wall, show bodies. Did a nice job there, but just reach. Idle Rock reaches and gets called for the foul.
That was actually one of your keys to the game. Had
Yes.
we been on before the game, and you're right, because Coach Odom had emphasized that, and they were able to
I should
get
take
back.
credit for a lot of things
Yeah.
that weren't heard. It'll make me like
we'll
a
do that.
soothsayer.
Ball on the ground, fight for the ball, and the Aggies have it.
Look at that team collapse there, the Aggies. They just swarm the ball whenever it gets into the paint.
And right back, and back again.
Weber's done a good job in the second half of speeding Utah State up. They don't look as comfortable in their offense.
Agreed.
Much better effort.
Kick out. Jones, Horvath. And crashing the boards, and the Cats have it. The freshman, Dylan Jones.
So Dylan Jones, he doesn't elevate very much, but he's like a Charles Barkley type of player. He's just in the right place at the right time, getting these rebounds.
See Soho Jawara's shot, and boy, we started out gangbusters at the beginning of this second half, but now both teams have gone a little bit cold.
Offensively, you can see the problem that Utah State gives you. You've got shooters all over the floor, and you've got big guys who not just, they don't take up space inside. They hurt you more with cuts and offensive rebounds.
They space the floor, but they also attack the offensive boards, Coach.
Yeah, big time.
That's what you
That's huge.
pointed out.
Yep.
And the drawing the foul. He Overton not able to get the shot to fall.
But I like this aggressiveness picking up for Weber State. They're doing a better job. They're being a little bit more urgent on the defensive end, getting their hands into passing lanes, keeping their hands high. I know that sounds trite, but if you know anything about basketball, the effort and feeling that burn in your shoulders, keeping your hands high, makes a world of difference on the defensive end, not letting people have free range to pass the ball wherever they want. And that slight little coaching adjustment that Coach Ray has made is making wonders right now and getting Weber slowly back into this game.
I know Coach Ray well enough that I would imagine there was a little bit of emotion in that locker room at halftime. Because they've come out and really responded. That's a sign of great coaching.
Yeah, they didn't invite us in for that speech. Free throw's good. We'll make some subs here. Overton, he's been playing hard. He looks a little.
I like
right
Overton.
now, yeah.
I mean, his shots aren't necessarily falling, but he is playing full court, putting pressure on the ball in those passing lanes. I like that kid a lot.
Utah State lead now 11.
So you see Utah State go guard, screen there. It's just all sorts of concepts you've got to guard.
Oh, boy. But, of course, Ryland Jones adding to his assist total. Finds Horvath.
Good swing. Ooh, one more.
Another good pass. Corner three. No, and Brock Miller's got the ball. Here come the Aggies.
And as a coach, you clap right there. I mean, that's great basketball. They got a great shot.
And McEwen, who's been hot, they're going to keep going to him. That's the shot they want.
Horvath.
This is a mismatch.
Post up. Yeah, that's almost too easy.
Yeah, no, Weber State has to recognize that, and someone's got to get down to help McEwen when he's guarding a 7-footer.
Zaire Porter is checked in. Collision, offensive foul.
Coach Ray not happy with that call at all.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one. I don't think feet were set on that one, but I may be wrong. No, he was sliding. That's not a charge. That's a bad call.
Oh, boy, they just showed it on the big screen here, and that'll get them riled up.
Yeah.
That's the toughest call in the game. It seemed to go against me every time too, Coach Ray.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sitting over here.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt as bad.
Tim Lacombe, of course, longtime assistant with Dave Rose at BYU. Had a lot of great moments in their time there. And good defense by the Wildcats. Here they come.
Weber got very lucky, though, that Horvath missed that little putt-putt gimme.
Porter. That shot won't go. Defense is starting to pick up a little bit in the second half.
Someone's got to get on Jones. That's too easy.
And you can see the contrasting styles. So Utah State wants to space. They want to utilize that space and really kind of mess with matchups. And on the other end, Weber wants to just drive that ball and get right to the front of the rim.
It seemed like Ashworth couldn't miss in the first half, and it's been a little different story here.
That's a great call by Coach Lacombe there. That Utah recognizes the mismatches right away. Utah State goes right at him every time.
The well-traveled Kobe McEwen, 2 years at Utah State, 2 years at Marquette. He was actually the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year, clear back in 2017 for the Aggies.
Out of Canada, and he played one of the first really good, influential D1 players out of Wasatch Academy that's now become a powerhouse.
Oh, Ashworth with the reverse.
We talked about this in the first half, Coach, that Utah State has such unorthodox cuts that they are relentless on their cutting game, but this is death by 1,000 cuts for Weber State tonight.
It's a great call, Lance. I think, and the hard part, they drive it, they get to a jump stop, and then guys start to cut. And really hard to manage all that.
Three-point shot, no. Brandon Horvath clears. Horvath and Bean are two players that are averaging. They're hitting over 50% of their field goals and their three-point shots. What a bonus that is to have on your team as we head to break with the Aggies in control so far here at the Purple Palace.
That this is a professional clinic that the Aggies are putting on tonight with selflessness and their finishing, that they are getting any shot they want.
Radiology. Weber State School of Radiologic Sciences, nationally ranked. Be a healthcare hero. Visit weber.edu for more information. Dave Fox along with Coach Kim Lacombe and Lance Allred on our broadcast tonight on a snowy day here in Utah, Okanagan. 71-56, 15-point lead for the Aggies. Ashworth has been hot, and he's got another three.
Just great ball movement, inside, post up, kick, just unselfish and understanding where the ball needs to go.
Fifth three-pointer of the game for Stephen Ashworth out of Lone Peak High School. There's the drive for the freshman Dylan Jones.
My little man crush, 4.0 student. He's everything I hope to be when I grow up.
But does he own a laundromat?
That's a good point. We'll take our victories where we can.
Things I didn't know about Lance Allred for 50, Alex.
Hey, he's a renaissance man, David. You know that. You told me he's
that
one step shy of Bill Walton.
I'll tell you this much, we're lucky to have him because his speaking engagement tour is filled up.
Yeah, I'll be missing the third broadcast this season, sadly, because of it.
Okay, I did not sign off on that.
We'll discuss that off.
Maybe I did. Jones for three. Oh, my word, that was just a little off.
He's right, trying to get back in the game, so he was open. That's a shot you got to take to keep the defense honest.
I'll tell you what, that stroke is pure, and right now he just he's going to let him go. I've known Steven since he's a little kid, and he believes he can make every one of them.
Yeah, that's transcendent right now is what's happening. Stroke is pure, but it's reached transcendence. But again, that's on Dylan Jones as a freshman. He's playing hard, but you got to recognize who the hot hand is. If Ashworth has the ball, you do not give him any breath right now. So, Aggies up by 19.
Free throws coming for J.J. Overton. 74% free throw shooter. Not happy about that one. UVU transfers, played for the Wolverines for 2 seasons. As checking in is Norbert Thielsen. He doesn't play a ton. He's out of the Netherlands.
Interesting, this Aggies team has players from 7 different countries.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Some of our teams at BYU, we didn't have 7 different zip codes.
Yeah, they all came from Lone Peak. That's a Majerus line, it almost sounds like. Shulga
That's just indicative of what's been happening all night. Utah State, everywhere they want to be. Every shot Utah State has taken tonight has been a good shot. We have not seen one bad shot.
You see the patience there too. Shulga drives it and it gets into an advantage, but one shot fake, no response. Second shot fake, that's when Kohler leaves his feet. Great decision and really good basketball by Shulga right there.
These guys are disciplined. They're skilled and they're disciplined. Utah State Aggies.
McEwen goes behind the back, sets up his three. Oh, it's in and out, so close. Ashworth is all the way down at the other end. The defense recovers. Brock. Shot won't go. Here comes Sissoko Jawara. And the Wildcats will reset. But they are in a hole.
And unfortunately, I can speak to the fact you're around the game enough. You experience games like this where it's not your night. But Weber State just has to do a good job of getting better every possession. They can't really play to the score right now. They've got to just play hard and do a better job communicating, moving the ball. You know, because right now the Utah State's just playing great basketball.
Exactly, Coach. That it's never too late to set the tempo and try to carry it over into the next game.
RJ Idlerock will check in, one of the couple players that followed Ryan Odom from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC transfers. The other one, of course, Brandon Horvath, and you know he is thrilled that both of those young men chose to come with him. He had mentioned to us they were going to enter the portal anyway, so it really worked out fine. He didn't have to do anything without literally taking somebody from the school that wasn't planning to look around anyway. And Weber State basketball brought to you by Watson Chevrolet. Shop local and save money at John Watson Chevrolet.
Utah State playing it out of an empty side right there, trying to see how Weber will handle that ball screen. Seen a lot of switching right here.
We saw Overton get a hand in there, but not able to complete the steal. Ashworth from the corner. And the Cats have it. Here comes Dylan Jones, the freshman. What will he do? He will drive and scores. They're going to call goaltending, but it went in anyway.
Dylan Jones, I mean, this is why we see, I'm enjoying watching this kid as freshman. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Even though the game is nearly out of control, he's not giving up. He's still attacking. He's going to keep pushing. And that's where, again, to what Coach Tim McCombs said a couple of minutes ago, Weber just has to play for their own sense of identity at this point and not even worry about the scoreboard anymore.
You know, these coaching staffs, too. You got, you know, Ryan Odom comes in, brings all of his assistants with him. And, of course, Randy Ray's got a group of coaches. Eric Duff, 16 years with Randy Ray, but that's Eric Daniels, 3 years here with Randy Ray. A very familiar name because his dad, Donnie, of course, a friend of ours, goes back quite a ways.
One of the great assistant coaches in the history of college basketball. I imagine if they had an assistant coach Hall of Fame, Donnie should be in it. Took 3 different teams to the Final Four, UCLA, Gonzaga.
Isn't that crazy?
And Utah, of course. Yeah. So Donnie's in the building somewhere tonight, but he's laying low.
Well, we saw him once, and then he figured out we had spotted him, so he moved.
He moved. But, yeah, Eric Daniels, just a great young coach, doing a great job recruiting here at Weber.
Take the time out to avoid the turnover, and we'll remind you that Weber State basketball brought to you by Wildcat Stores. Get your Weber gear at wildcatstores.com. And on the other side of the ball, Ryan Odom, who comes to Utah State from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. All 3 of his assistants, Nate Dixon, Bryce Crawford, and Matt Henry, all of them followed him out and came with him, and they've got something going right now. We'll see how it continues in this first year as the Aggies head coach. Right now, they have a pretty comfortable lead. Weber State basketball brought to you in part by Larry H. Miller, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Riverdale. Live here, work here, buy here. Weber State faithful. They always have a good student section here. Right now their team is in peril. as it were, and they've got a quick turnaround on Saturday night. They will take on BYU here in Ogden. We'll have that game for you at 6 p.m.
Ooh.
Wide open flush for Brandon Horvath. He's had, what, 3 dunks in this second half.
Weaver
He's
came
had
out
a
in that
great
1-3-1 zone, and just a great execution, turned the ball, cross-court pass for a dunk.
As you know, they're just trying to get you to panic in that court press, Coach. And Utah State did not blink at all. They took their time. Horvath flushed it down.
And Idle Rock there, another one of the. So there's your 2 UMBC transfers that came to this team along with Ryan Odom. Idle Rock out of London.
Yeah, he's their leading scorer in 2021. And like you said, was undecided what he really wanted to do, but when more of a creature of comfort and knew that he would be able to thrive under Ryan Odom because he had done that for a couple of years.
That whole coaching staff, as we talked about, it, very comfortable for Idle Rock. Played at Barking Abbey in London.
It should be the name of a band.
Oh, I might have just given you an idea. Oh, ye of many guitars.
Just a couple.
I tried to get Coach to bring a couple of guitars and play us out each commercial break.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it.
A little banjo jingle?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no,
more
he's
like
not a banjo guy. He's full on electric. Yeah.
All right.
Jimi
I think
Hendrix.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Okay.
Yeah.
85-61 lead for Utah State. Brock Miller. And they just keep on. How about Brock Miller, by the way? This is his 4th coaching staff. Can you believe that? He was recruited by Stu Morrill, played for Tim Duryea, Craig Smith, and now Odom.
Talk about a guy that, you know, that's preparing him well for the real world.
No kidding.
Leadership changes, bureaucracy changes, but you just keep doing what you do best, young man.
Another layup for Horvath. If I can tell a quick funny story on that very same thing, my daughter, you guys know because I talk about her too much, played softball in high school, and she played 4 years at UVU. As of her junior year, okay, so 4 years of high school, 3 years of college, 7 years, 7 different coaches.
Wow.
7 different coaches. She had the same one her senior year. But you're right, she learned a lot from a lot of different people. It was a challenge. But, you know, weathered the storm, did great.
You got to play your game, do what you do best.
Yeah.
The only person that can really guard you is you, I would always tell myself, no matter what coach I was playing under.
Well, and if you can survive all those coaches, that says something about you as an athlete, whether it's softball like Kelly did or basketball like these guys. If you know, sooner or later, you'd think the odds would come. You come across a coach that says, well, you're not the kind of player I'm looking for. But you survive them all.
Absolutely.
That says a lot about you as a player.
I think that does speak volumes about what Brock Miller is. You know, he's a guy who's going to show up every day. I love the 3 on one end, and then next possession down, he's guarding his tail off, and you got to love that effort.
He's a good player. I've enjoyed watching him play tonight. He's going to have a good professional career wherever he goes.
And he'll have more coaches there. Ryla Jones. Remember, he had a hot start early. Oh, how about that? Quick kick out, but Ashworth falling away, can't get it to go.
He was too close. It'll be a 3.
Actually, as you know, Coach, hey, when you're a three-point shooter, sometimes that three-point little putt shot is a lot more difficult than people think it is. But hey, you know what? Ashworth's had a great night. No one's feeling bad for him missing that one.
You know, we were talking just as we went to half. It wasn't on the air at the time.
But it was a great conversation.
Well, you were commenting on how they had 59 first-half points, and back in your day, for both of you, there would have been coaches that would have come unglued that you would have given up 59 points, and here the Aggies are at 90.
Yeah.
I don't think they're on the 120 pace. You never know, but it's just the frenetic pace. The game has changed, though.
No, it has.
But what's interesting is that Utah State smash mouth, discipline, Stu Morrill culture still somehow transcends. Even though it's a faster paced game, they still play their executing style that was always so hard to beat Utah State. You hated playing Utah State, even back in my day.
Especially
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Stu Morrill standing up and You know, they'd have this false motion. He'd just wave his finger around, and you knew you were going to get put in a blender. You just didn't know where it was going to come from.
And nowadays, as the three-pointer goes for Dylan Jones, there are so many green lights out there. It's like everyone on this team has, like you use the phrase, carte blanche to hit threes.
I never had that luxury. In order to be able to shoot, you got to play. So.
Well, that's a good point. Tried to be saved there, but here comes Jones, and Jones to the rack and one. No quit in these Wildcats.
I see why Coach Ray likes this kid a lot. Hey, you know what? They're down 20, 5 minutes left to go. You could easily throw the towel in. But Jones is like, nope, I'm going at it. I'm going to keep at it. That's who he is. That's what he's about. This kid's going to have a good career. He's just a freshman, guys.
It really speaks to the culture, too, with Randy. I mean, his teams aren't going to quit. I'll promise you that. He's one of the more competitive guys I know. Obviously frustrated tonight with the difficulty in getting Utah State stopped, but this team will always compete.
One player down here out.
Yeah, Rylan Jones took a nice little knock on the head there, trying to draw the charge.
He battled a number of injuries when he was at Utah. Seemed like it was in and out of the lineup quite a bit. Let's have a look.
He's always trying to take a charge.
Oh, he just missed hitting his head, but he did jerk it back.
Yeah.
This might be a whiplash kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had a similar strain at a Metallica show once.
Did you?
Went and saw the trainer for about 3-minute ice.
Yeah.
And got right back in for Seek and Destroy.
You worked it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Metallica will do that to you.
So I've dropped Yngwie Malmsteen and Metallica tonight.
Yikes.
It's
Well,
good.
Metallica I get.
Google Yngwie. You'd be impressed.
I can't even spell it, much less Google it.
I don't do math or spell on the air. I hope Ryland's okay. It does look like his head, luckily, didn't hit the floor, but just.
There was definitely a bit of a whiplash.
There was a
you're
whiplash.
right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
His father, of course, a longtime assistant here in the state of Utah at a couple different schools. Most recently at the University of Utah. We'll take a break as they tend to Ryland.
Basketball looks to try to take a charge right there. Again, luckily he did not hit the back of his head, but I think the issue is that whiplash and the strain on his neck. He got up and walked off the floor. Hopefully Ryland's okay.
Yeah, he did not look good there, right there helping him off. But he's gone to the locker room. So 90-74, Utah State lead, under 5 to play. Aggies, we saw them play BYU in Provo, which is, Coach, as you know, is a tough place to play, and they got worked pretty good by the Cougars, who will be coming up here on Saturday.
Yeah, Utah State just got off to a really bad start in that game. I like the way they played after the first few minutes, but just kind of dug themselves a huge hole. And BYU's really good. It's a good team.
It's a great team. They have a couple inexplicable losses, but we'll talk more about that on Saturday. Another look at that last play.
Good hustle. Everyone's hustling, but good job by Dylan Jones, freshman. He's not giving up on this game. He sprinted back, got in position, trying to give Weber any chance. Hey, you know what? They're down 16, but again, these guys can get hot. 4 minutes is still a lot of time.
And most importantly, they're getting a little success. You know, they're getting some stops defensively, good things offensively, and just got to stay with it.
Can't hold the ball that long. You got to move it.
Yeah, boy, Weber State, Utah State closes in a hurry. And shot clock violation. So you do not see that very often.
Actually, it looks like D.G. Nelson's going to call a foul.
Oh, he is. Well, Ryan Odom wants shot clock. He says, hey, I heard it.
Coach Ray wants fouls.
And
so
Coach Ray wants fouls. So they're going to discuss it. While they do that, let me mention that Weber State basketball brought to you in part by UCCU. UCCU does mortgages seriously fast and super easy. Just visit uccu.com to learn more and start your super easy application today. Can you believe we're already
And making sure the time's right. The crew Chad Shepard, Rick O'Neill, and D.G. Nelson. Two of these guys were actually alternates on tonight's game. Vern Harris and Mike Reed were actually assigned and not able to make it due to the storm. So nice job by these guys filling in, making sure we can still play ball.
Checking it out on the replay now. And tonight's game brought to you in part by America First Credit Union. For more than 80 years, America First has helped its members make their financial dreams come true. Find out how today at americafirst.com.
Trying to read lips over here. Get a feel for.
Apparently, here's what they're looking at.
So
The
was
ball
that
hit
a
the
foul? Air ball, shot clock expired, but are they saying it was a foul occurring before the shot clock went off?
You saw the clock hit 0 in the background there.
It looks like it will be 2 shots for Kobe McEwen. Refs were able to figure out. Do you guys like replay?
I don't like the time it takes.
Yeah.
I like replay if they could put like a 30-second cap on it. It's not overanalyzed. You get like 1 or 2 looks at it for the official. Got to make a call and let's move on.
That's a good call. Because I do like it,
Yeah.
but I'm with you, Dave. I think it just drags the game on a little bit.
I think maybe, and you do a lot of work with the Jazz and the NBA, when they take it back to their headquarters, it seems like those tend to be done a little quicker than the official having to do it on the spot. I don't have anything to back that up, but that's my whole thing, is just the time that it takes. If you could do it quicker, college football, it's almost brutal. It takes forever.
Right.
I think the NFL's not quite as bad.
Unless my guy Chad Bunn's in the booth.
Chad
BYU.
Bunn. Boy, there's a name out of the BYU past.
Horvath has just been a nightmare for Weber State tonight, guys. He has just been killing it. It's like a career night for this young man. Well-deserved. He's been playing his butt off, 20 and 14. I mean, heck of a night for this kid.
He's a great motor. He really, really plays hard and is engaged in every possession. Again, we talked about his ability to shoot the 3. He's shooting over 50%.
And he's meshed well with Justin Bean and Brock Miller, 2 guys who've been around for a while.
Look at that. Schluger turns it over, but Horvath steps up. Hey, man, let's go. We're good. Good teammates. They're communicating well. I'm excited to see what Utah State does with the rest of the season.
How about Dante Bassett? We've been talking about him, Lance, and he's finally in the game.
I like Dante Bassett. He's high energy, good motor. You know, it might be a little too late now getting him into the game, but
Ashworth got another 3.
again, that's the story of the night, is you got to recognize who's the hot hand. Ashworth has just had an out-of-body experience, as Coach Lacombe said. Great night, and you got to recognize who's on the floor. You can't leave him open when he's been killing you all night. That's what, 3-pointer number 7 or 8 tonight, Dave?
And his, like you said, Lance, they're not difficult. He made 1 heat check 3, kind of that crazy one, but most of that, like that one's in rhythm. He's able to find the laces. Just too much time to shoot.
This is the kind of game that you dream about as a player, and when you're on the receiving end, though, is your nightmare when you know that they're making you do what they want you to do on defense, and they're getting all the shots they want on offense. It's just that kind of night that everything's gone Utah State's way. And it's not luck. They execute, they communicate.
93-74. Oh, I tell you what, Horvath was not expecting that pass.
If you're open, you better be ready,
Yeah.
because this Utah State team will pass you the
Yeah,
ball.
they will. We've already established they love to pass.
Ashworth's going to take a heat shot.
Ashworth, and he tried to pass there, but off of Weber State, it appears that it may have hit Kobe McEwen.
Just trying to get that back cut from the corner, and McEwen did a nice job of playing it, not giving it up.
Brock Miller. You heard the clank. Here comes the Wildcats. McEwen for 3, and he's a little off. Approaching 2 minutes to go. Do the Aggies hit 100 points tonight?
I start to get hives when I think of 100 points in
yeah.
here, because we did that we gave up 100 last time in here. It was my last time. We actually played Randy every year. We were at BYU. He beat us the last time.
Giving up 100, yeah.
He gave up 100.
I mean, we televised that game.
I'll never forget, too, Coach Rose, we were riding the bus back. I was so dejected. And he said, hey, you can lose to a lot of people. At least it was Randy Ray.
Really?
Yeah.
That much respect.
That
Up
much
and
respect.
in goes Kobe McEwen. There is a lot of respect for what Ray's done. 4-time Coach of the Year, 5 Big Sky titles, 3 NCAA tournaments. And the lob is up and in. 95 points for the Aggies.
This is a very good Aggie team. Man, they're good. They're polished, make the right play, and they play really, really hard.
And
Jones.
the fact that they're adjusting to the full court press and it's still like, okay, let's lob it now. That they're not even blinking, that they have that kind of trust and experience with each other. These guys are good. Utah State's going to have a good season.
I got enough. I'm full. I'm full.
You and Craig
Let me drag it up. Oh. Cragthorpe, he did that. Oh, great. Just been compared to Cragthorpe.
Oh, he would pack a whole bag.
Oh, that's funny. So for our wrap-up, just looking ahead, we'll just pick a couple of Aggies. This is going to be all about the Aggies dominating. We'll have Tim and Lance will each talk about one guy. The whole thing's only a minute.
Well, I mean, we could talk about McEwen with his 23, but Dylan Jones not giving up, slowly keeps pushing away, having a good night. Eventually, 17 and 10 right now at the 3-minute mark. I'm not sure what it is now total for Dylan Jones. We can talk about McEwen and Dylan Jones wherever you want.
All right, we'll see when we get to that point. We got a few things to do. Aggies putting the finishing touches on a game that you really felt like they were in control. I remember it was, what, 9-0, and they've never really been out of control of this game the entire night.
Weber's done a nice job. They tried to speed them up. You know, they came out in the second half with a kind of a renewed, extended energy, and it paid dividends for a minute. But Utah State just was able to space the floor and make the right play time after time.
Yeah, not once has Utah State blinked tonight.
Which is what experienced teams do. I mean, there's a lot of experienced dudes on this team.
Auto Rock shot won't go. Approaching 30 seconds left in this game.
But you know, I'm excited to see how Coach Ray bounces back. Big game against BYU in 2 days.
Well, and what's the You got to win the Big Sky so you can go to the big dance.
It's lessons learned tonight.
Exactly.
Right? It's lessons learned.
And it is hard. Let's be real. It's hard once you go into conference play to sort of be like, okay, well, let's have an in-state rivalry game now. It
has always been a weird scheduling
It's
deal.
a weird adjustment.
Well,
to
normally
make.
they wouldn't have played the league games as early as they did.
Absolutely.
That's the strangest part.
That's a tough adjustment to play.
It is.
Make as an athlete when you're already counting down for the tournament.
Well, there you go. Handshakes at midcourt. Ryan Odom, Randy Ray. Tonight, Odom gets the best of them. Two coaches with a lot of respect, but it was Utah State that came out and imposed their will, played the game they wanted to play, and they ended up with the 95-80 victory. And guys, your thoughts, each of you, on what you saw out of this team tonight.
Well, it was. I was excited. You know, in-state battles are always fun, but Utah State kind of came out tonight and just said, it's our night, and they jumped out early. Weber State really didn't have much of an answer. You know, I do like the effort and the fact that, like you said, Lance, they kept playing hard. But Utah State was hot, unconscious really from three, but got great looks. You got to credit Utah State with a great game plan.
Well-coached teams understand it's a game of runs, but how quickly can you stop the bleeding? The Utah State never let Weber get too close again, not letting them back in the game. They're too disciplined. They stayed on it. And so hats off to Utah State, man. This is a good team. I'm excited to see where they go.
Let's go to Coach Ryan Odoms with us right now. He spent a few minutes with us this afternoon. And Coach, your team came in and did a couple of things that you mentioned today you really wanted them to do, including stopping the speed of Weber State. You've got to be pretty happy with the way this worked out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot of points that were scored tonight. I mean, it was a very fast-paced game, you know, both sides. Obviously, we shot it extremely well in the first half, making 10 threes. You know, they hung in there and made 7 of their own, and seemed like neither team could stop one another there for a while. But, you know, our guys were, 14 assists in the first half, only 4 turnovers. You know, we've talked a lot about that, over the last couple of weeks. You know, we've had some high turnover games, and we just wanted to make sure that, when we don't turn it over, we have a better, like the numbers will tell us that we'll score a whole lot more points, obviously, per possession, and, just because of how unselfish our guys are. And so we really want to encourage them to sometimes slow down a little bit, but take what's there. And, obviously having Bean out there at the end of the game, it wasn't a typical game for him, but his teammates were awesome, and he's fine with that. And I thought Steven was great. Max coming in, he hasn't really played all year, and he played in the guts of the game, and I thought he gave us some really good minutes. Brandon was Brandon today, and Brock obviously shot it extremely well and got us off to a great start. So a great win. I'm excited for Utah State, but I'm excited for Weber State too. They're going to have a great season.
Yeah, Coach Odom, this is Lance Saar. A quick question. Obviously, your discipline shows. How do you prepare and get your guys mentally ready? What's the secret sauce that you have saying, you know what, it's going to be a faster game, but let's stick to our discipline, and yet it paid off for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the name of the game, right? In sports, the most disciplined, hardest playing, toughest team usually wins. And, I thought today offensively our guys were very disciplined. They shared the ball. Defensively, while it wasn't our best effort, these guys were really hard to guard. And they spread you out. They play smaller lineups, and we had to adjust to that. And I thought overall for us, we've got a very mature team. When you have leadership like we have with Justin Bean and Brock Miller, and then we have some other guys that have played in big games, at other universities, Utah, UMBC, it's really helpful to have a veteran crew like that because they're ready to go. And, the biggest thing we talk to our guys about is just having fun. And I think they had fun tonight.
Well, I had fun watching you, Coach. That's a very good basketball team. We talked about today when we visited the ability of this team play off the pass, but like you made the point, Justin Bean did 9 tonight, but Stephen Ashworth was he was having out-of-body experience.
He was dynamite. Yeah, he was dynamite.
Yeah. What makes him tick? What makes him so good?
He's just got moxie. I mean, that was easy to tell from day one when I first had a meeting with him. He's a very confident guy. He believes in himself, but he's all about the team, and he's a great leader and going to continue to be for Utah State.
We'll have to tell your dad that you won a game in the
yeah, there you go.
Palace,
that's right.
friend.
We exercised those demons.
Those
1982, 83.
Coach, you only put up 33s tonight, though. You put up 33 against New Orleans. The team's slacking. You got to get that up.
And if I'm going to drive from Provo, you better get me 100 points. I mean, come on, man.
How about that?
All right, Coach. Congratulations. Big win for your team, Utah State, 95-80 over Weber State. Thanks for spending a minute with us,
Coach.
All right, go Aggies in L.A.
There you go. That's right. The L.A. Bowl coming up Saturday. Jimmy Kimmel's
L.A.
Bowl, by the way.
Should be the Lance Allred Bowl.
There you go. All right, we'll be right back. Put a button on this one right after this.